All right, today I have with me Mr. Barry Moore and Mr. Joe Crowley. They're going to introduce themselves in just a moment, but first I want to talk about the question we're going to be covering today. And that is, what is it going to take for you to wake up and realize there's a crisis going on in our communities?
Thank you. I'm Joe Crowley. I'm Director of Business Development for the Coleman Institute for Addiction Medicine in Richmond, Virginia. Since 1988, Coleman has been detoxing patients to get them back, to take their lives back. And our motto is, you deserve a better life. You deserve freedom from addiction. And we work with you to medically detox you and help you get your life back.
I think, it's a great way to ask the question, a direct question, almost a smack in the face, because we really don't pay attention, whether it's human trafficking, feeding people, or drug addiction. We have to ask the question, what's it going to take when one of your family members get affected? That seems to be the only time that we seem to care. Yet we go out and we go to stupid, ridiculous parties for nonprofits raising money for a cause we don't understand anything about. We would do better off, instead of these ridiculous fundraisers, walk into a room, put $1,000 check on the table, and then talk to people that need help. Talk to the professionals at Coleman and learn what they can do. This is more than a crisis. In the words of Chris, I won't say his last name, who runs the DEA agency right here in Richmond, he calls it terrorism. We were worried about 115,000 deaths last year. There's enough fentanyl in this country to kill 250 million. That's waking up one day and seeing 2/3 of our country executed. Terrorists right then. And when do we wake up at that point in time? So we've got to stop these fundraisers, and there's great programs out there. Support the great programs. Real life, write them a check. They've got houses and stuff. They're trying to get people help and get them jobs. The heart program with Carl Leonard at the Chesterfield County Jail. McShin doing a lot for decades in that. But these other ones that keep popping up because they want to help the cause are really distracting. We are not getting any better, Joe, and we have got to get people to be honest with themselves and call it what it is. And I think crises, slash it out and cause it terrorism, because maybe we get that feeling better. I don't.
Yeah, the numbers have gone up dramatically and it's impacting everyone. And you make great points, Barry, the fact that is until it's one of your direct family members, you feel bad about it. You sort of want to do something about it, but until you see the ravages of a family member, everything changes. 3 quick numbers. People don't like it. 106,000 people died in 2021. 109,000 people died in 2022. 112,000 people died in 2023. Almost 80% of them had fentanyl in their system. Many of them were first-time experimenters. We have a crisis. It is a terrorist plot with this drug coming into our country.
And it's here. It's too late to say, let's stop it. It's already here. They know that.
Yeah.
The DEA knows it. The FBI knows it. We know it. I'm talking about it. We're talking about it right here on Evie's podcast here, our Evie's show, right? And it's with Ignite, and it is that serious. But we've got to get real with ourselves, and we got to stop distracting each other and get down to business, because I believe fentanyl can be melted down or down in liquid format in any. So I'm not going to give psychos an idea, but just think about what that means. And if there's enough to kill 280 million people, we only have 315 million here. Well, what could they do to hit all of us? Just think about it. And if our imaginations can think about it, the nut job terrorists have already thought about it, already plotting it. So we've got to protect ourselves.
As I travel the community and go and speak, I really truly believe this. If you yourself are facing addiction, get help. If a family member is battling addiction, get help for your family member. Start the journey, make the phone call. We would love for you to call the Coleman Institute. We can gladly help. But first and foremost, make the commitment, get help.
Become a survivor, not a victim.
Yeah.
I know that there's this concept of, I think you mentioned it before, Mr. Crowley, to end the stigma. I do agree that we shouldn't shame people that have this addiction because we try to hide our shame, right? But I do think that we need to address the fact that it's not okay to hurt yourself that way. Because when you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your family and your loved ones that really care about you. And so if you really want to make a difference, the number one first thing is to admit that you have a problem. Every single time, whether it's swiping that credit card over and over again, or grabbing that drink after work when you know you really don't need it, or taking a hit, admitting that you have a problem, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I need help, to yourself is the first step to going to someone else to saying, I need help, help me.
Absolutely. At the Coleman Institute for Addiction Medicine, we like to start out, the path to freedom starts here. What's the number one step? Ask for help. Ask for help. Reach out. There's resources. Get into recovery and then stay in the program. There are resources to support you.
Have a family member who you know loves you so much, they're willing to be that person that holds you accountable for your actions every single day.
Yeah.
And no matter what you say to them or how angry you get or how much you lash out, their love for you overcomes your anger at yourself.
You try not to be an enabler, right, as a family member, and that takes a lot, because if the drugs and alcoholism is a problem, then you deal with a parent or someone or loved one that goes through dementia and Alzheimer's. You say, well, what does that got to do with anything? Well, I've been through both walks of life, and you want to get angry at the person with the dementia. You give up on them. You think they're playing around. You think they're stupid. You think all the things, and if you're at the Alzheimer's breakfast, you probably hear people talk about this, and it's a great organization. But it's to be a caretaker of an Alzheimer's patient or a hospice patient, in-home healthcare, and or drug or alcohol abuse. It's tough to be that steady person that you want to be, and you almost need help. So you better have a church behind you or a God behind you or something to help hold your hand all the way through it, because to take that person on, that challenge in all those areas is very difficult. And until you experience real life, no pun on Sarah Scarborough's program, but until you experience, really take in, a lot of us haven't experienced a lot. You can read books, but you never believe it's going to happen to you.
I will say, I don't know how my dad did it, but he did a really good job. He was always bad cop in our family, right? So mom was good cop, dad was bad cop. But dad always said, whenever he'd make us cry about something or make us upset, he'd say, the people that love you are going to make you cry. The people that don't care about you, they're going to make you laugh all the time. So every time my dad's yelling at me about something, or he's really beating down on me about something I did wrong, and it's upsetting me, I realize it's coming from a place of love.
I wish everybody could understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you know it was.
That, especially when you're dealing with addiction and as a family member, your biggest challenge between how do you provide that tough love? How do you don't get into the enabling mode, and how do you help them? One of my favorite lines always is, I will help you help yourself, but you have to help yourself.
Right.
You have to. And then we can support you. But if you don't commit to helping yourself, it's never going to work.
Hand out, hand up,
Yeah.
same type of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Goes back to, a family unit and having that family, we need people to step in right now. We need to glue these families back together, whatever that means for the next generation. And maybe we could stop some of this, insanity, the mental health issues, maybe we get the right help and deal with them, the root cause, right? And keeping up the Joneses with drugs. You know, I've heard enough people in recovery, and I've seen some bad things after they're trying so hard. And unfortunately, that addiction gets them, so.
And that's a great tie in the mental health issues, and there are many people, I'm not saying all, many people with mental health issues start to self-medicate, and that leads
Yes.
to a
Yeah.
whole cycle, and that's a big challenge. That's a big, big challenge.
I think Joe is onto it.
Yeah.
Those who are watching this podcast or conversation, contact Joe. What's your phone number, Joe?
804-353-1230. And just like to sum up, because I really think it sums up, the Coleman Institute is dedicated to developing treatments that are safe, comfortable, and affordable, enabling them to take their first step. We are here to help.
And the nice thing, it's a short period of time. You're not in a detox for 30 days. Can people come from all over the country?
All over the country, we
Yeah.
accept patients nationwide. Many
Yeah.
people detox over a long weekend.
Sure. We have, Caritas in Richmond, and we have Coleman Institute. You guys are around the country.
Yeah.
We are so fortunate. Richmond's a great place for this, and unfortunately, we need it, maybe the worst. At least we have solutions, so.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for joining me for this discussion. Remember to follow, like, and subscribe on BBB Serving Central Virginia YouTube. And make sure to go to BBB Sharing on Spotify and follow us there. Thank you very much. We'll hope you come back and listen in.